Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Wars fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and this is another retro collection multi-pack from Hasbro, disguising itself as Kenner for the purposes of creating that retro feel for these Star Wars figures. Now again, this isn't the first of its kind. We've seen some original Star Wars action figures re-released in this format, which was really nice. We've had some from A New Hope, prior to it being called A New Hope, and we've had some from Return of the Jedi. We've yet to see a multi-pack for Empire Strikes Back. I'm hoping we ultimately, through that range, get all of those original Star Wars figures in all their glory. But today we've got a very interesting multi-pack. It's kind of doing the work of two multi-packs, because we've got three, as you can see, three figures from Attack of the Clones and three figures from Revenge of the Sith. So this is us taking a step into the prequels, which of course never had retro action figures, because they didn't exist, the films didn't exist at a point when those figures of that style were being mass produced. They came along sort of post Power of the Force figures, and sort of fed into that new bracket of action figures. So they were never part of any original retro collection. So the fact that they've now turned their attention to Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, I think is really interesting. And it's a bit of and I wonder why they've done it as one multi-pack for two films. And I wonder whether this is them testing the market, testing to see whether we as consumers are interested in getting characters from the prequel films manufactured in the frankly less complex figure configurations and engineering of modern equivalents, such as Black Series or the Vintage Collection or something like that, because these are your 5 point of articulation figures. Neck, if you're lucky, and I'm not sure all of these will have neck. I think they will, but I'm not sure they all will. Shoulders for up and down, and hips for forward and back, and nothing else. And if you're super lucky, an accessory, but not always guaranteed. So again, I am enamored by the concept very much, as you can tell, because I've actually picked it up. But I do wonder why they're jumping about in the range. I would have liked to have seen them do all of the original Star Wars figures that were released from the original film, then move into Empire Strikes Back, and then do that maybe across three sets, then do Return of the Jedi, and then possibly extend the range, you know, get the excitement built, get us all with all those figures, and then go, well, look, you've got that collection rejuvenated in this classic way. How about you fill in some gaps or increase your collection by having the classic approach to Star Wars figures? I mean, to me, that would make more sense marketing-wise, but I am not a marketing guru, so I cannot really comment. So what do we have here? Well, we've got another standard black box with the lovely sort of railroad chrome effect, silver chrome railroading of the Star Wars logo with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, separated and separating the three figures from each film. And as you can see, we get Mace Windu, Jango Fett and Padme Amidala as they appeared in Attack of the Clones, and well, what looks like a little bit of a stunted Anakin Skywalker, General Grievous. I'm quite excited to see what that looks like in real life, and a clone trooper, because you've got to have your army builders, have you not? We're going to get them out in a moment. I've not got them out yet, so I don't know what they look like in hand, but a little tour of the box, because that's always nice. Here we have stills or artist representations in some cases, I think, because that looks a little bit either CGI or artwork. Obviously General Grievous would be CGI, but yeah, so you can see the characters as they were represented in the films. The side just has, one side is Attack of the Clones, meaning, I assume, yep, Revenge of the Sith. The back of the packaging is the same as the front, with some minor adjustments. We've got the warnings not to swallow stuff, and on the bottom we have, the other way up, let's do that subtly, all of the legal shenanigans. Before I ask you to do the sort of perfunctory and almost obligatory request for you to like the video, please, but also to subscribe to the channel, because as those of you following the channel but haven't subscribed will probably be sick of hearing me say, I am trying to get to my next subscriber milestone, so it would mean the world to me, please, if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free, there's no obligation, and it would really mean the world to me. And if you do let me know in the comments down below that you have subscribed, I will personally thank you for doing so, for what that's worth to you, but I will do, I promise. My main concern about this box is that they are obsessed with making it look old. And you know what, I don't need it to look old. I get that it's the retro collection, but if this was my retro collection and I'd actually kept it safe, it wouldn't look like this. And I can't tell you the amount of times with the previous boxes I've just wanted to get a black Sharpie or other black pens are available, and just clean that up, because I don't like it. It's not necessary. You know, you don't need to make it look weathered. You can do battle damage and stuff on the ships. Don't do it on the boxes. What next? A great big tear across there and just telling us, well, it's period. It's a period look. Yeah, no thanks. Don't do that. It's silly. Right, let's get to the main event. I'm going to open them up. As I say, I haven't yet taken them out of the box. Let's see if that's done what it needed to do. It has. So I'll just do let's just show you how they're all in there like this. So sort of back to back, as it were. So let's see if I can get them all out in an orderly fashion, or as near as. Doesn't seem to be too problematic. And then we shall take a little tiptoe through the collection. Oh, yep, empty box. I'll just pop this at the back. Apologies for the chaos while this happens. High quality televisual experience for you all. So I think I've just seen, well, I know I've just seen one of the characters, so excuse my arm while I turn it over. So we kick off with Attack of the Clones. It's nice because it's punched, but it's not out. But we have this ridiculous, so here come the moans, you know what I'm going to say. Ooh, an extra moan. So we've got this ridiculous weathering on the packaging. I won't mention it again, but I will probably mention we've also got this ridiculous sticker, which we don't need. We've just bought it in a box set with the retro collection written on it. You don't need to keep reminding us. We get it. Not least because these were never released. These didn't exist back when these figures were being made in this style, scale, etc. So for goodness sake, stop ruining them with your sticker. Anyway, back to being positive. Again, I already like it. I already really like it. I don't like that the placement of this bubble is hanging off the edge of the card. I don't know if you can see that. That's a bit pants. But there we are. Yeah, but I love the figure. I mean, there's not much to say. It's Padme, but she looks a bit scowly. She's having a bit of a scowl there. I think we've got some soft goods in terms of that cape. Little blaster there. Can't see anything else. They've elected to not include the paper thing that tells you not to eat the toy. That's now separate, presumably a bit of a sustainability thing, which is great, but makes them, you know, sustain yourself even more and stop producing these stickers. The back of the card looks like this, and again talks about the inspiration of the 1970s Star Wars figures. It lists the retro collection series that actually is all of these. Interesting that it's got them from the 2 films on the back here. So it's obviously I just think that's interesting for my own reasons, I suppose. So there's Padme. I think, I mean, I'm weathering aside, I do adore this approach to the packaging, so I'm not going to get too antsy about it. I'll pull out a little bit, but I'm conscious that it might not be sufficient to get everything into the shot, but we'll see what we can do. Next up is Jango Fett. Again, we've got a lovely photo of him, or artist's impression of a photo of him. The figure looks really good. He gets 2 accessories, 2 identical blasters, fair enough, and his fists are ready to receive them. I assume that's why they look like that. He's got some nice detailing on his head there. That's coming a bit closer. So again, unlike Padme, it's really difficult at this scale to do anything really decent with the faces at this scale and price point. Let's be realistic. But the helmet does look good, and they have sort of faked the viewfinder thing extremely well. We can't see too much more. I can't see anything on his... Oh, and he has got a sort of rocket pack included on his back there. I like that. That's very nice. Nice touch. So that's there. I'm not taking them out of the card. I'm leaving them in their carded formation, as I think you'll probably figure out. I'm just going to stand them up for now, then I'll move out a little later. Let's just get them all looked at first as I smash into the mic. Last Attack of the Clones figure is Mace Windu. And here's his purple lightsaber. I am pleased about that. I was a bit worried they wouldn't give us a purple lightsaber. He's got a lovely soft goods cape. Sort of unfortunately for us, it's completely covering up the figure. I'm not entirely sure that the likeness is all that. But again, see my previous comments about Padme. Can't see anything bulging around the back. Either side of that, so I'm going to assume he's just got sort of standard Jedi attire. We can see a little bit of it there under that. So again, what I might do, because I did manage to do it with a couple of the other sets, is if this goes on to sale, depending on how many are left at the end, sometimes they release them on a lower price point, and if they do that, I might well pick this up again so that I can open up the figures. I haven't done that with the other ones yet, but I have picked up duplicate packs. So I'm in a position to do it, but I kind of want to go all or nothing, if you know what I mean. So I'm optimistic that I'll be able to get a few more. So here we have Anakin, the first of our Revenge of the Sith figures. All the usual features around the card. I'm not sure. Again, this is quite 70s-esque, because I'm not sure that's the best possible picture they could have done, but that's not the first time that's happened. That's sort of, I don't know whether that's a bit of a choice in joke, but it's effective for me. Again, he doesn't look quite as stodgy as he did in the product shot. Then he's got a blue lightsaber there, at least for now, and his Jedi robes. I imagine the Jedi robes may be similar to what we would see on Mace. They may have kept, I can't be sure, the feet do look different, but I'm not really talking about the legs, but the design of that sort of Jedi tunic may be similar, just recoloured to the slightly lighter, sandier colours we're familiar with. This, of course, is Anakin turning a little dark. Captured his hair nicely. Again, it's a bit sort of, it could be anyone face modelling, but that was so indicative of the 1970s figures. Again, the rear of the figure, apologies I didn't show all the others, but just so you're aware, they are all identical. So you're not missing anything for me zipping through it. Here we have our Revenge of the Sith clone trooper, and I'm pleased to say he was the one I was worried might not have any neck articulation, but I'm pleased to say that I think he does, and I think he will. I only say that because I only was concerned because, of course, the original Stormtroopers didn't have any neck articulation, but I think because of the design of this, they do. There's no those sort of parallel lines that form a sort of grill on the helmet aren't there. But you know, for this scale, it's indicative of this particular range. You know, the retro collection, the figures of the 70s were not known for their screen accurate detail. They were known for their suggestive detail that got you through your imagination your non-imagination proof fun and games that you would absolutely love to play with. And the last one I'm very excited to have a look at, is General Grievous from Revenge of the Sith. And he actually does look really good. Big old chompy feet there. But he looks really good. He's got 4 lightsabers. I don't know if I'm disappointed or not, but so there's 2 green and 2 blue. I think I would have liked to have seen a bit more variety, but that's just me. But yeah, as a figure, it looks really, really good. I'm sure he should have come with some sort of soft goods. Or some sort of cape, because I'm sure he had one, but my mind might be playing tricks on me. Yes, he's got head articulation, well, left to right from what I can see, head articulation there. And everything else is as you would expect it to be. The arms, now this is good. This is good. Look, I'm looking at the arm here. That looks to me like that splits. So his arm actually will, as a feature, will split. I think it's held together possibly there, but it looks to me like that will split apart. See, now I really need to get another set. Curses. But it looks like it will split apart and be able to hold all 4 lightsabers. Yeah, you see this side, it's already done it. Why didn't I notice that? This side it's done it, it's already split the sides slightly inside. So I think you can actually move the front part of the arm up, and the second part will move back, or they can all move up, I guess, so he can attack with his lightsabers. I think that's a really nice sort of feature. And again, some of the 70s figures and the 80s figures did have some intriguing little features. You think, oh wow, I didn't think they'd be able to pack that kind of a detail or a feature in, considering how sort of detail neutral they could sometimes be. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So, you know, I do sometimes think these things can be a bit of a money grab, but I have to say, I'll just give you a bit of a pan round. I really like this range. I really like this range. I will be keeping my eye out just to see if it comes down in cost, but I, for one, am very glad I've picked it up. Do tell me, let me know in the comments down below if you've picked this range up. Do you like the retro collection? Did you collect the originals back in the 70s and 80s like I did for play purposes, and are you now sort of recapturing some of those moments through your engagement with these figures? I'd love to know if that's the case. I feel like I am a bit, if I'm honest. Blocking them all out now. Not the best way to do it. But, you know, it's quite nice to get 6 in a pack, and this wasn't overly expensive by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, fantastic. Thanks for staying with me for the last 20 minutes or so. I would absolutely love to hear down in the comments below what you think. Do you collect them? Will you collect them? Were you hesitant about picking this set up until you'd had some sight of it, and now you have had sight of it? Has it swayed you one way or the other? And indeed, what other figures are you keen to see given the retro figure treatment? I'd be very excited to hear your thoughts on that. It's been lovely having you here. Thank you for spending the last, as I say, 20 minutes or so with me. I've been the Triple TC. That is the Time Travelling Toy Collector. This has been the retro collection set from Hasbro, disguised as Kenner, multi-pack for 3 Attack of the Clones figures and 3 Revenge of the Sith figures in the prequels of the Star Wars saga. What are you hoping we get next? Are you hoping we get another Star Wars set to give us some of those as yet unreleased classic Cantina aliens? To be honest, having invested in the HasLab Cantina, I really hope we get those, because I really want to use the names I'm familiar with from the 70s. I really want to see Walrus Man, Snaggletooth, Hammerhead, etc. in this format. I want to see them, and I want to be able to put them, because again, the vintage collection. Bear with me 2 seconds as I reach down here. So the vintage collection, which is, I've shown you these before. So this is my Mandalorian R5D4, which I have taken out of here. which is why it looks a little bit the worse for wear. But I've sort of slipped him back in for the purposes of being here. They are not quite the same scale, but it's close enough for my imagination to work effectively. So with my Cantina, I would probably be really up for having some of these figures. It's finally somewhere I can display my opened, when I open them, retro collection figures. To me, that makes a lot of sense. So are you wanting those? Are you wanting Empire Strikes Back figures? Do you want more Return of the Jedi figures? Do you want to see if they're going to give us Phantom Menace? Or I think we've got Phantom Menace, actually. I think I'm making that up. I think I've already got that. My mind, it's a blur with so many boxes hanging around the place. But what I meant to say was the Force Awakens, the other end. Do we want to see some Force Awakens figures? Do we want to see Last Jedi figures? What do we want to see next? Do let me know in the comments down below. I mentioned it earlier, I'll mention it again as a pious hope, but please do feel more than welcome to subscribe to the channel. I'll very much appreciate it. And if you've had fun watching me go through these figures and you haven't bored your hair off, then by all means, please like the video. It really does help it get a little bit of traction and people noticing that it's here in my own little tiny corner of the internet. Thank you so much. I've been Triple TC, Time Travelling Toy Collector. You've been fantastic. And it just remains for me to say that I hope to see you, A, in a future or indeed a past video, but also that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.